Hey everybody, today we're going to be learning about the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act.
Sounds great. And growing up, did you guys ever play the game Matching or Memory?
Of course.
Totally.
Got it right. When's the last time you played?
My family was playing just a couple Christmases ago.
Yes.
We have an old school one that my grandpa used to play with us, and we broke it out, and the whole family was coming in and playing, and we were introducing like people who have married into the family into our old tradition of playing this game. So it was super fun, and that's kind of even what inspired me to sort of create it this way.
That's really cool. And you think about all those family memories that you have, right?
Yeah.
And why do you have those family memories of playing a game?
Because we have so much fun, and the game is so accessible and easy to play, and we can include everyone, even my grandma, even our youngest family member. Everyone gets it, everyone can play, and it's just a good time.
Yeah, I love that because that's really why we do what we do here. It's how do we spark an emotion with somebody during training, whether it's through laughter or through learning a story that really impacts us. That memory then is how we'll get different skills, attitudes, and behaviors changed over time. So love that example. So well, how this game's going to work today. So the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, brand new law, and there are some nuances to it that are different than what we've seen the government release in the past in comparison to ADA. Is you each have your own game board. And we've got some tiles laid out here, and it's just like when you played it as a kid or a couple years ago at Christmas. You are looking for tiles that match. Once you find a matching set, you are going to look at your game board, and you're going to try to apply that card onto the game board. So where does it fit? So we have a bunch of different things on here, like what are things that are not reasonable to ask for documentation for, or what's the name of the committee that enforces this law? So you're going to place that on your game board. If you are correct, you get to keep it on your game board, and that's a point. If you're incorrect, you have to put it back where you found it, and that's going to make it really easy for the next person's turn to find that pair again and try again.
Okay.
Now, throughout the tiles, there are a couple that say draw a scenario card. If you get one of those, you are going to draw a card. You're going to read the question. If you can answer it correctly, that's another point. At the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins the game.
Seems straightforward. Yeah.
Sound good? We also have some markers here. So if you don't have the match, you can write down what the answer was on your game board, because these are yours to take back to your offices after the session. So if you ever need to refer back to it, you have a resource to look at. You're gonna like rock, paper, scissors. Who goes first?
Beginner's start.
Alrighty, I'll fly. Just pick any two?
Picked any two.
Alright, essential job function. Ooh. And U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission.
All right, not a match. Flip them back.
You can go clockwise, so Casey, you want to go ahead?
Oh, you're gonna actually let me play too? I don't have to just facilitate?
I mean, I'm just going to get all the matches when I start going, so I might as well
Alright.
get you a turn in.
So allow for bathroom breaks and undue hardship.
My turn. Denied opportunity. And temporary.
I'm gonna go undue hardship.
Oh, I think
Okay.
we've seen that one
I
before.
feel like-
Remember where it was?
I feel like.
Oh,
Okay.
there we go.
Alrighty. Oh boy.
Undue
Okay.
hardship.
So
See
now, before you claim it, you gotta place it right.
Okay.
On the board.
So let's see here. Employers must be able to abide by PWFA policies unless it causes them. I'm going all in on undue hardship.
That is correct.
Yes, pretty good.
That's correct. So we need to accommodate as long as it does not provide undue hardship on the company. So that would be maybe they're asking for a piece of equipment that is 2 times our budget that we would typically spend on any equipment. So unless it creates undue hardship, we need to make that accommodation.
All right, Casey.
All right. I need to start doing them just like in order. So punishment for reporting discrimination. I got it!
This is crazy.
All right, so punishment for reporting discrimination. That is something that the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act would prohibit. You cannot punish somebody because they came up and said, hey, I don't feel like this is fair.
Seems straightforward.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take a flip here. Ooh, we've seen this. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Let's say this one here is ongoing. I feel like it is in that area, but not quite.
Ongoing. Oh man. That's right, Johnny.
Oh my god.
That is what you get.
I'll keep showing you where they're at.
Ongoing. Okay, let's see here. Even after accommodations have been agreed upon, the interactive process is ongoing.
Right on the money.
Yep.
So that interactive process, that is something that we do every single time somebody comes and asks for accommodation under ADA. So this is a process that we follow. And so just like ADA with the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, we're going to put in the interactive process, and we're going to have those conversations each time that somebody has a request for an accommodation.
Yeah, and I think another critical part of it is that even after you make that maybe an initial accommodation to someone, you know, that doesn't mean that you as an organization are done helping this person out. Maybe this accommodation isn't meeting their needs. Maybe it turns out that they actually need a little bit more. Maybe it turns out that this is not necessary for them. But it's important that you leave that dialogue open with these pregnant employees so that you're really able to get to the bottom of and really solve for how can I make your life as my employee easier, and how can we really accommodate your needs in this time. Right. So not quite there.
All right, forced to take leave.
It'd be too quick of a video if I really went all out.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't get to explain anything.
Essential job functions. This one? Allowing for sitting or standing.
All right. Let's see here. ADA. Not quite.
Did we see that one before?
I feel like we have.
Yeah, but I can't remember if it's that card or if we pulled something else. It all just gets so lost in the
Right?
stack with this many cards left.
Allowing for breaks to eat.
Okay.
We just saw.
I think Casey
Oh,
put that.
temporary.
We've
Is
seen
it
that
this one?
too.
No, allowing
For
for
bathroom
breaks.
breaks.
Is that this?
Oh,
yes.
Right.
Yes.
I had no idea.
So this would be an example of a predictable assessment or reasonable accommodation that will not impose an undue hardship in virtually all cases. So Johnny, you can keep drawing while I'll talk a little bit more about this while you continue to look for matches. So this law was the first time the government ever came out and said, we all know that when somebody is pregnant that they need to use the restroom more often. We don't want them going to the doctor, having to miss work. It's already hard enough to get in to see doctors. So we want to keep them working. So things like allowing for bathroom breaks, we need to accommodate, and we cannot ask for documentation.
Awesome. Well, Johnny, I feel like I saw a couple that matched here while you were flipping.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for allowing for sitting or standing as needed
Ah!
in the match.
Don't you hate that when they were right beside
Yeah.
each other and you thought?
Allowing for sitting or standing as needed, I believe, is an example of predictable assessments or reasonable accommodation that will not impose an undue hardship in virtually all cases.
Absolutely.
Boom. That's right. No
Spot
matter
on.
what you work at, there's probably an opportunity to allow them for sit or stand as needed.
Totally.
Like so. Draw a scenario card. Okay, ready? So an employee gave birth 3 months ago and asking, I need an hour off once a week for treatments to help with my back problems that started during my pregnancy. Does she qualify or not? Yes. Even though she had the baby 3 months ago, since the back problem started due to her pregnancy, she is still eligible and would be able to take that hour off per week. Point.
All right. We gotta start catching up here. It's getting a little embarrassing. Okay. Being provided with a fan. There we go. I'm on
Johnny's
the
on the
board.
board.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say it is not reasonable to ask for documentation under the PWFA for being provided with a fan.
Common sense, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty. We'll go up here. I feel like we don't have a lot of matches. Punishments for accommodations. And I already pulled this one. U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. We have seen this somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know if it's that one.
I think it's recited. I think it's another one. It's like goofy one.
Oh my god.
So that's the logo of the EEOC. And that is the committee that enforces this law. They're also going to enforce Title VII. So anything that has to do with discrimination, that's where your EEOC is going to come into place.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm up again. Inability is temporary. We
I
have?
dropped it, yeah.
In the near future.
I saw the white on the card when I was flipping it, and I was like, yes, but not quite.
Come on, scenario card.
Oh no.
Oh no, inability
I
for.
think I know where this is. There it is.
Ah, again. Luke's stealing my thunder.
It's true. All right. I'm going, if a pregnant worker is not able to perform the essential functions of her job, the employer must excuse that function if the inability is temporary.
That is
Absolutely.
correct. So we know pregnancy is temporary. We actually need to accommodate those essential functions if it's just temporary or completely remove them. All right. Scenario card.
Oh my gosh.
An employee with menopause is covered under the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act. I'll give you the point if you get this one right. Do they qualify? Menopause.
I'm going to do 2 takes here. Yes. All right.
That is correct.
That is correct.
That is a pregnancy-related condition. So things like menopause, infertility, let's say it's like back issues due to pregnancy, anything that is related to pregnancy qualifies.
Okay.
I'll let you have my point.
Easy.
He needs all the help he can get. I feel like we've seen this one. Is it a breastfeeding location? Yes. Here we go. Specific breastfeeding location. All right. So, I'm gonna say examples of predictable assessments of reasonable accommodation that will not impose any undue hardship in virtually all cases include specific breastfeeding location.
Nice.
Is he right?
Yes.
No?
So this is an example of something that's not reasonable to ask for documentation. But this is not one of the items that is actually listed out underneath where the government says, hey, these couple things can be accommodated no matter where. Now, under the Pump Act, that's where we would find this type of information, but
Gotcha.
not in this one in particular.
All right.
So,
Gotta go
put them back.
You never would guess.
Right. Alrighty. Well, since Johnny, you were wrong, I'm gonna see what I can do here, and I'm going to say it is not reasonable to ask for documentation under the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act.
And what law does that really fall under?
That falls under the Pump Act case.
Absolutely.
Those things.
These are.
We've seen that.
Yeah, all. This two.
Everything's all,
They're all close.
yeah.
We're really narrowing it down here.
Alrighty. Scenario card.
Oh my gosh.
Finally.
Alrighty. An employee tells a human resources specialist that they are worried about continuing to lift heavy boxes because they are concerned that it will harm their pregnancy.
Qualifies or doesn't qualify?
I feel like that qualifies.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Boom. Another point. All right.
I gotta start cheating or something.
In the near future.
Oh.
In the near future. Okay, so if a pregnant worker is not able to perform the essential functions of her job, the employer must excuse that function if the inability is temporary, such that an employee will be able to perform the function in the near future, and there is no accommodation that will enable the employee to perform the function.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right.
Awesome.
Let me get in here.
Are you giving me this point?
You shouldn't.
That's yours.
Oh, wait, no, you got one. Yeah, that's yours.
Did I?
These are mine too.
Oh, I thought I gave you one of mine.
You did.
Oh, I had more than one? Oh.
Forced to take leave and ADA.
We've seen ADA somewhere.
I feel like it might even be just that one.
Do you know what ADA stands for?
Americans with Disabilities Act. Absolutely.
Boom. I'd give you a sympathy point.
But we don't even know where the other card is.
Right. Okay.
But Luke's about to draw it.
Taking a break for water. And seeking predictable assessments. No good.
Break
Taking
for
a break
water.
for water. Okay.
Yes.
Taking a break for water. Which, virtually in every single case, can be accommodated no matter where you work.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm really getting behind the ball here. I think I got to get the rest of them to win. All right. Let's see what this is. Okay.
Allowing breaks to eat.
I've seen this. I'm going to say here. No!
Sense of job function.
Okay. Luke's about to do me in.
He's really not good at this.
I know.
I've never been good at this.
You need to stay in game design,
Essential
not
job
playing.
function. An essential job function, Johnny.
There's a reason I haven't gone pro.
Alrighty. I'm going. Pregnant Workers Fairness Act protects employees who are temporarily unable to perform an essential job function due to pregnancy, childbirth, or a related condition. Employers may be required to temporarily relieve pregnant employees of essential job functions if needed.
Boom. I forgot I was supposed to be writing down the answers for my
also
cheat sheet
forgot.
at
Oh
home.
boy.
All right, only a couple left. Ah, there it is. Boo-boo-boo. Allowing for breaks.
I knew it.
Government says this is one of those items that can be accommodated no matter where you work, pretty much.
All right.
I feel like you set these cards out or something.
She knows too much. I don't know where she's getting the
I have
information.
young children. We play a lot of matching at our house.
That's the problem. Okay. Forced to take leave. Dang it. For accommodations.
Alright. Seeking predictable assessments.
You've drawn that like 3 times.
I just like that card.
Gonna,
man.
like-
Oh yeah, sorry.
You already give it up. You're like,
It is what it is. And denied opportunity.
Okay.
See, I just predicted that one.
All right, let's see. That was the one you just said.
That one.
Aw.
Punishment for accommodations.
I hate when I do that.
All right. I think this is my moment. Denied opportunities.
No! Wait.
And now Luke
remember?
knows exactly where they are. If he's been paying attention.
Johnny, I'm always paying attention at work. Punishment for accommodations and punishment for accommodations. It really
Boom.
doesn't get much easier than that. PWFA prohibits
Yep.
punishment for accommodations.
Totally.
All right, we're gonna go here. Last minute change paid off. Look at my board. Okay, so I got seeking predictable assessment, and this one requires no documentation. So if a lady would come up to you and say, hey, I'm pregnant and I'd like to start the interactive process, we cannot ask her for documentation right at that moment to prove that she's pregnant. We go ahead and start that process with her. So that would be one of those things that's not reasonable to ask for documentation.
Okay.
Alrighty, Johnny.
Let's see.
Denied opportunity.
It's
We've
gotta
seen
be.
that.
Yeah. We got it.
Yay, finally.
I would say the PWFA prohibits being denied opportunity based
Yeah.
on being pregnant.
Even like overtime. Like, just don't worry about working overtime while you're pregnant. You know, that would take her inability away to earn that overtime pay. So that would be an example of something that would be prohibited.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we're down to 4.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go for these two here on the side. ADA. ADA. Alrighty. In contrast, under the ADA, Casey, Johnny, An employer is not required to eliminate such essential job functions.
Boom. I get the last two.
I hope she gets them wrong.
Only case you can mess these up.
Forced to take leave. So this is PWFA prohibits, and so we want to keep women working as long as possible. There are going to be times when they do need to can go on bed rest or take leave before they actually have the baby. The goal behind this law is to keep women working as long as possible. So forced to take leave is something that this law prohibits. Count up your points.
So with these two, I win. Because you only have one of these, and I've got two, and we have the same amount. And we know Johnny's bad, so.
I just felt bad for you too. I just felt bad.
Brooklyn.
What can I say?
You're ready to tackle management, right?
I feel like you owe me lunch.
Oh, you lunch?
Yeah.
Now, candy bar for the winner.
I like that.
Winner. Not get the company sued.
Oh,
is
wow.
the award of a reward of winning. So
That's worth way more than lunch.
yeah. So we just finished up the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act memory match game. What did you think of this format? Would you have preferred if I would have just put up a PowerPoint and trained you through PowerPoint, or what'd you think of this method?
No, so I love this because I am not the guy who learns by sitting in a classroom and looking at a PowerPoint all day, because I'm gonna zone out and think about everything but what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so to be able to actively play this with, some of my coworkers has been so much fun. And I actually learned a lot, believe it or not, about all this stuff. And so this is just super cool. And I think it's a great concept, but it is really good.
Good. What do you think, Johnny? You designed the game. Now you've seen it played and got experience.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I mean, I think my initial concepts for the game about it being so fun were great. This memory and repetition aspect really ties in and marries these two things so well.
Yeah, and something like this would be great. You train your managers, and then every single time you hire a new manager, this is part of your onboarding program. You put this right in there and bring a couple of managers together, or HR plays it with the new manager, but it's a great way to continue to train throughout the years and do it in a fun, memorable way. Could you imagine being a first-time manager and being pulled in to be trained and get to play a memory game versus sitting and listening to somebody preach about this law and what they can and cannot do?
Yeah, it's kind of so boring. And I think another great part of it too is especially if it's a new hire, you're bringing in a new manager, you kind of get him in the room with all of the other managers, and that's hard to organize. But when you can really check this box with this training, as well as creating a fun opportunity for the managers to really come together and create a better environment, come to have a better understanding, you're building these relationships while you're integrating them into your team and teaching them these core things they need to know as a manager. So it really works on so many different levels.
You think about that employee brand. You want those managers to leave going, hey, we just went through this amazing training at work. Even that excitement that they go out and tell their friends about and become that employer choice by providing training that's very effective in creating memories in the workplace. Let's recap. The Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, or PWFA, is a law that guarantees fairness and protection for workers and job applicants dealing with pregnancy or related conditions across the United States. Let's explore what this means. First, PWFA apply to employees and job applicants working for companies with 15 or more employees. The goal is to make sure pregnancy, childbirth, and related medical conditions aren't barriers to opportunities or safety at work. Under the PWFA, employers must provide what are called reasonable accommodations. These could include flexible work hours, additional breaks for food, water, or rest, modified job duties, and even temporary relief from essential job functions as long as the worker can resume them in the near future. These accommodations should work for every employer without creating what's called an undue hardship for the employer. So what kind of conditions are covered? It's a long list, from pregnancy-related conditions like gestational diabetes and postpartum depression to infertility, menopause, and menstrual cycles. Here's what employers cannot do under the PWFA. Deny employees a job or promotion because they need accommodations. Force employees to take leave if other reasonable accommodations are available. Retaliate against employees for requesting accommodations or participating in related investigations. And perhaps most importantly, employers cannot make employees accept an accommodation without discussing it with them first. Now, let's talk documentation. Employers can ask for reasonable proof if accommodations are needed, but not if the need is obvious or falls under common, predictable accommodations. Things like having water at their workstation or alternating between sitting and standing. These almost never cause undue hardship. Accommodation isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing conversation. Employers and employees work together to figure out what works best, and this process continues as needs change. Finally, who makes sure the PWFA is followed? That's the job of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC. They enforce these policies and ensure fairness in the workplace. Again, the PWFA protects pregnant workers by requiring reasonable accommodation and ensuring fair treatment and promoting collaboration. It's about creating workplaces that work for everyone. Thanks for watching, and remember, fairness is everyone's right.